Welcome back to our 22 in 22 series. This is episode 11, and coming in at number 12 is the Dallas Mavericks. So they started the season real hot, going 16-6 through their first 22 games. The rest of the season was pretty much consistently average, as they won 24, which is just over half of their final 55 games. So their star player has undoubtedly been sophomore Luka Doncic, who racks up a staggering 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists per game, with their second best player being fellow European Kristaps Porzingis, who averages 19 points and 10 rebounds a game. Shooting guards Tim Hardaway and Seth Curry, forwards Dorian Finney-Smith and Maxi Kleber, and center Dwight Powell have also been solid for the Mavs as well. The biggest recent news regarding the Mavs is that their center, Willie Cauley-Stein, has opted out of the bubble. However, I doubt that this is going to make a huge impact on their performance, as they only went 7-6 with the short 13 games that they had with him. And going into the bubble, they're tied with the Thunder and the Rockets, all three just being one game behind the Jazz. So the Mavs will probably finish somewhere between the 4th and 7th seed. They should have theoretically 3 easy wins against the Suns twice and the Kings. And I personally have them going 5-3 overall, winning 1 out of 2 crucial matchups versus the Rockets and the Jazz. But depending on how other teams play, this would put them at around 5th or 6th in the Western Conference. All right, now moving on to the power rankings discussion. So while they're 12th in our rankings, I have them at 11th. And I just think that this team with Doncic and Porzingis especially is just really talented and definitely has the potential to jump up a few seeds during the 8 regular season games. And I think that a 5th or 6th seed team finishing 11th in the power rankings is a pretty good place for them.
So now moving on to my ranking, I had them at number 12, which is a little bit lower than what you had them. And this is because I put the Thunder one place higher than you did. And my reasoning for this is I think the Thunder have a little bit of a more clearly defined team with a clear leader, like in Chris Paul, for example. And a lot of their players also have more playoff experience than the Mavericks, because Kristaps played on the Knicks. There's no way he went to the playoffs. And also, Luka Doncic, he just got drafted pretty recently. I think that although the Mavericks do have some star players, they do not have as much playoff experience as the Thunder. And there are some new players in the Thunder, but a lot of them do have playoff experience. And that's why I think that the Thunder should be ranked higher. But I think the Mavericks are still a great team.
Yeah, I have the Mavericks at 11 also. So as you see, there's actually more people who think they should be 11th than 12th, but even though they're ranked 12th. But I really, really like this team. I think talent-wise, they may be more talented than a team like the Thunder, but their positioning and current standings and their youth and their matchups put them in a pretty precarious situation. I look at the games they have to play. I think that because they're a really young team, they're more prone to getting upset. So I feel like they're probably going to go around like 4-4 rather than Andy's like 5-3. But they're also more prone to being the upsetter, and they theoretically could beat the Clippers, but we don't know. But way I see it, if I look at the standings right now, they're currently the 7th seed. They're 1.5 games back of the Thunder and Rockets, and they're 2.5 games back of the Jazz, which means they would have to make up 2 games on the Rockets or Thunder, both teams of which are pretty healthy, and they have to make 3 games up on the Jazz, which I just don't think that they're going to be able to do. Even though the Jazz lost Bojan Bogdanovic and they have a little bit of turmoil, I think that they'll keep at least a 2.5 game cushion. It might reduce a bit, but it won't fall out completely. I think the Mavericks will remain the 7th seed, and because of that, they're going to have to face the Clippers, which are most likely going to be the 2 seed, and that's a terrible matchup for them. I feel that the Mavericks in a series could beat the Nuggets, could beat the Jazz, maybe the Thunder, probably not the Rockets, but maybe the Rockets also. But what the Clippers have which just ultimately is terrible, is they have good offense and amazing defense. If you put Kawhi on Luka's going to be relatively ineffective. If you put if you put a guy like Paul George or somebody else on Kristaps, or like Montrezl Harrell or somebody, it just too many defenders to throw at Luka. You have Patrick Beverly you can even put on Luka as like the third option defender on Luka. Still amazing on defense. Like it's just a terrible matchup. The Mavs are all offense and like no defense. If you look at our basketball podcast, I actually had the Mavericks taking 2 games off the Clippers solely because of their offensive firepower. They have the #1 offense in the league. They were on pace of a historical season. But unfortunately, I think they're just a bit too young, a bit too lackluster on the defensive end, and a bit too limited on the offensive end to have much impact outside of a first round L.
That was quite the speech, Hockey. Anyway, that wraps it up for, I believe, the first half of this series. So tomorrow we'll be moving into the top 11 teams. Let us know who you think will be the first team in the top half in the comment section below. But this is the Benchwarmers signing off. See ya.